Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
It's Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
Good morning and happy Friday, Folkaroonies. Game of Thrones, over with. Whether you like the ending or not, it's over. We did not get through all of our beer, which is fine. It gives me some additional time to enjoy part of the Ommegang collection. So today I'm going to do Ommegang's Game of Thrones series, Mother of Dragons. I'm not going to have, the guys put in the dragon fire blowing thing every single time I say Come on, guys. Seriously? This is a smoked porter and kriek ale blend. A beer for Daenerys. A blend of delicately smoked porter and tart cherry kriek. Is it kriek? Kriek? Brewed for those who nurture dragons. This is a 6.6% ABV beer. And on the back of the label, it gives a description of some Game of Thrones stuff, as well as, I guess the relation of Game of Thrones to this beer. And it's really, really small. Bottle's a little sweaty. It's quite humid outside this morning. I'll just read the what the beer is. A beer for Daenerys, a richly complex blend of smoked porter and Belgian kriek. It pours deep ruby brown and with an alluring aroma of tart cherry, dark roast, and hints of smoke. Mother of Dragons. The third release in our Royal Reserve collection. Beers are representing what a court brewer would offer a noble lord or lady, perfect balance and pure drinking pleasure. And then some stuff about HBO licensing and all that. It's a cool bottle. I've got several up there. That this is just going to be added to the collection. Put this on a coaster because it is sweating like crazy. I think I've done one other Ommegang beer, either on a Friday morning beer review or when we were doing individual beer reviews other days of the week. But I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about Brewery Ommegang after I get this thing poured and sniffed. Let's turn it this way. How about that head representing Brewery Ommegang? Now, I've had this beer just in a small sample, though. We opened this another one of these bottles week 1 or 2 of the series this year. I honestly don't really remember what it tastes like. Not because I was just drunk or anything. I probably was, but more so because there was a lot of sampling going on when we were watching the shows. And I had such a little sample of it that I don't really remember the taste. Out of the bottle, it's pretty much just tart cherry. I don't really get much of a portery or smoked smell in the bottle sniff. Out of the glass, I still have a little bit of fizz from the depleting head. Same thing, just stronger. A really, really strong tart cherry smell. All right, well, prost everybody. Let's see what it tastes like. That's really non-porterish. I don't get much of a smoky flavor until the very, very end after it's washed over my palate and gone down. The aftertaste does have some smokiness to it. Up front, it's all cherry, and it's not even really tart cherry until about halfway through. It's kind of a sweet cherry to start with. Very, very good flavor. It's really a dark beer. They say ruby brown. It's mostly brown to black. I mean, it poured on the brown side, but once it's in the glass, it's nice and dark. You can't see through it. There's no light getting through that. Very good. Man, I really like that combination. That's a fantastic beer. I'm drinking this fairly cold because I had it in the refrigerator. Even though it's a porter, we would normally drink a little bit warmer. I thought the cherry, the Belgian kriek part of it, I hope I'm saying that right. Kriek. Anyway, I want to say I've had one before, and it was cooler, not cold. I think one of my dogs farted. So I don't know if this beer would be good warm or not, but it's really, really good cold. So that's why the bottle's sweating so much. That's really good. One more sip, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Yeah, that's a really good beer. On the website, before I talk about Ommegang, the brewery, this beer, the profile is, they've got a pretty decent way of laying this out in a very short manner, or a very brief manner, I should say. It's a limited release and availability. The fermentables, Pilsner, Caramel Malt, Munich 20, Cara 20, Chocolate Malt, Special B, and smoked malt barleys, as well as Midnight Wheat. The hops are Saz, Magnum, and Hallertau. The yeast is Ommegang house yeast, Leifman's mixed culture. The blending notes, 75% smoked porter, 25% Belgian kriek, 6.6% ABV, 24 IBUs, and available only on draft or in 750 ml bottles. If you can find one of these, definitely pick it up. It's really, really a good beer. I don't know. Actually, be curious to see what I checked this in as, because I know I checked it in. I would say this is in the excellent category at this point. Brewery Ommegang has they claim an old tradition, going back to 1549, when the Holy Roman Emperor King Charles V visited medieval Brussels, and they had a bunch of people in his royal court to welcome the king. They did a parade, had musicians, beer, did theater, dancers. They all lined up around the city and joined in this entourage, and the parade became known as the Ommegang. That's a word that variously means coming together and walking about. The Brussels Ommegang Festival actually still does go on today, according to their website. The brewery obviously doesn't go that far back, but the name Ommegang, they've traced it back to 1549. The farmhouse brewery, which was built by Belgian breweries Duvel, Moortgat, Affligem, and Scaldus, got together with importers and entrepreneurs Don Feinberg and Wendy Littlefield to build a authentic Belgian-style farmstead brewery in Cooperstown, New York, which is where Brewery Ommegang is located. They transplanted an old 140-acre hop farm in the Susquehanna River Valley in a part of upstate New York, once known as Nova, Belgium. That was in 1996. In 1997, Brewery Ommegang opened in the winter of 97, and their first beer was the Ommegang Abbey Double, an 8.5% ABV traditional Trappist-style dark ale. They grew the brewery 1997 and 2002, offering various styles, farmhouse saisons, rare Voss amber. They were doing 12-ounce bottles, and they go on to talk about some of the other beers they've done. Let's see. In 2005, Randy Thiel, the brewmaster from 1997-2006, is shown holding the 5 millionth bottle of beer. Ommegang makes a lot of beer. I don't show anything on their website. They have a store. I don't show anything on their website that talks about how many barrels they're actually brewing. But even though they're owned by Duvel Ortgat, which is still considered a craft beer parent company, I guess, breweries can brew up to 6 million barrels of beer a year and still be in the craft category. And Duvel is below that as a whole. So Ommegang is a traditional large craft brewery. So that's a little bit about Ommegang Brewery, Cooperstown, New York. This beer is fantastic. It was one of the later releases. I don't remember if Mother of Dragons came before King of the North, which is a Russian Imperial Stout, I believe, which is sitting right up there. I still have to drink that. But this one, if you can find it, grab it. It's really interesting. Really, really good blend between smoked porter, which I don't really get a whole lot of smoked porter, but the dark porter flavor is there. It's just that cherry kriek flavor up front is, it's not overpowering. It's just delicious. It makes the smoked porter fantastic. Excellent drinkability. You'll enjoy it. So hope everybody has a great weekend. Happy Friday, everybody. Enjoy it. Be safe. Prost. See you next time. Oh man, is it early? I gotta get some coffee.